Ladies and gentlemen, we are not forcefully charging rich people. And we believe that these rich taxes are reasonable and rich people deserve it to pay by two reasons. First is basically one person make another people to use infrastructure which takes taxes. And second point is that he or she, the rich, should pay back to what he or she is paid. Like these responsibility will be explained in our third main argument. Based on that, I'd like to refute all the assertions of the leader of opposition. The first and second main arguments of ours, as refuted by the statement that if there will be a tax corruption. Well, tax corruption, I firstly want to say that it is still worthy to get taxes from the rich, even if people would not pay for this. That's a few. We have money and we use it for the society, and that's good. And secondly, that it always happens. Well, what would change if the taxes are low for the rich people? Tax corruption always happens. So that's why I felt that this is out of motion. That's about how we deal with these taxes, whether or not we should pay taxes or not. And by the way, people eventually pay taxes by the institution's inspections. And their first main argument was that the rich have a freedom of using their own money, mentioning capitalization, and they have lack of money, and they have to donate voluntarily. Well, firstly, I want to say that how many people will voluntarily donate to the nation, to the society? I don't know. I believe that people were not willing to pay for it, as they want to evade the taxes as they stated. And secondly, these taxes are the auto donation, which is not voluntary, but which is good for society. So we see this taxation is not good for society. Yes. We are not depriving freedom from the rich. This is the third point, that rich have enough money. That's why they're called rich. The 38% of their wealth is paid to tax. It's not very damages for them to maintain their life. They're rich and they afford it, and we're not infringing the freedom to use, but they have responsibility to pay these taxes, and they'll be explained in our third main argument. And their second assertion, corruption, was that people will pay taxes. But as I just said, people always want to pay taxes, and the second point here is that we can improve our tax system by inspecting those things like this. And this is always better, even if this could happen. And let's move on to our third main argument, the responsibility, so-called noblesse oblige. People interact, so does the economy. Somebody produces product and somebody carries it. And government builds infrastructure and people go over it. There's nothing achieved on one's own. Money earned by the rich seems like it's barely one's effort, but without people who pay for them, they cannot be like that. Let's suppose that there's a singer who got rich. Of course, the singer used the infrastructure of the government, and mainly he or she got rich by the fans who also use those infrastructure, which requires taxes. So the first point here is that basically one person makes people who use more infrastructure which require taxes, and the second point, he or she should pay back for what he or she is paid. It is obvious that as they used it more and made people use more, they should pay more, and as they are paid, they should pay for it. If not, rich will just, no thank you sir, rich would just take money from people, but the people suffering from insufficiency. This is called exploitation, taking advantage from the people. Eventually, it will burden that society, which doesn't guarantee rich's sustainable future as well. How government will get revenue to build something, it burdens society. Like this, we believe that we are not forcefully charging people. This is reasonable, and they are responsible for this. Thank you.